What if we were to tell you that there's something that we all do every single day, day in and day out, a choice that we make that can actually lead to health, longevity, wellness, and vitality, or it could lead to discomfort, pain, inflammation, and disease?
It's not what you're eating. It's not your workouts. It's not your mindset. It's in your water. You've probably heard about miracle water myth, that people talk about this fountain of youth that has these anti-aging properties of the water. And blue zones are where the longest living people in the world live. So what does this have to do with right now?
Well, when you realize that we are made up of water, over 70% water, and Mother Earth is over 70% water, there's a direct correlation. We're the building blocks of life, where it's our liver, our kidneys, our tissues, our brain, our heart, even the cells, the trillions of cells that make up you and me. Without water, they cannot function. Number two, not all water is the same. Introducing the electrolyzed reduced water system that we will refer to in this video as living water system. So let's see how this machine works. It works for any type of faucet, it is portable, and the machine comes with a set of adapters to fit your needs. Enagic is a 50-year-old company based in Okinawa, Japan. With over 43 locations in 26 different countries around the world, Enagic is an original equipment manufacturer, which means that they make every single piece of this device from start to finish in their factory in Osaka, Japan. It's the only ionizer company in the world that is an OEM. So the first part of the ionizer is a double carbon antibacterial filter. And on the other side of the ionizer, there are 8 medical grade platinum dipped titanium plates. And this is very important for the quality of the water and the performance of the machine over time. The K will actually tell you when it is time to replace the internal filter. It's usually every 6 months to 1 year, depending on usage. So it's not just what we drink, it's also what we absorb. Now, there was a doctor, Dr. Peter Egger, who actually won a Nobel Prize in 2003 for discovering something in the human body called an aquaporin. And this was a channel that allowed water to get into the cell and also allowed waste to leave the cell. Our water has molecular hydrogen gas that has the ability to penetrate the cellular membrane, so it doesn't need to actually go through the aquaporins. Only negatively charged water can actually go through the aquaporins. So let's take a look on how that would actually work using a teabag test. So what we're going to do first is we're going to do a little T-test to show superior hydration. Now, this teabag, I want you guys to think represents your cells, trillions of cells that we have, our human body. Now, when it comes to making tea, typically what do? We get some tap water, purified water, fridge water, whatever is convenient. So let's just say I'm using conventional fridge water, purified water, tap water, even bottled water. If I were to put this right into this tea bag with this cup, will this actually make tea? And the answer is no. What if I were to take this same tea bag, and instead use living water, where the water is smaller, easier to be absorbed by the body, and I pour that in? Within seconds, you just made green tea. Loaded with antioxidants, easier absorbed by the system, easier absorbed by the body. That's the power of superior hydration. Because it's not what you drink, also, it's what you can absorb. And it's not only what you absorb, it's what you can also eliminate. And this cycle continues on. And if we can keep that going in a healthy manner, our health will improve overall as well.
As I mentioned before, what they found in miracle water that occurs in nature is an abundance of antioxidants. Hydrogen is the smallest and most bioavailable molecule, which means it can penetrate deep into your cells and cross the blood-brain barrier and neutralize harmful free radicals at the source. Unlike synthetic antioxidants, molecular hydrogen selectively targets the most dangerous free radicals without disrupting your body's natural balance because it's a cytotoxic scavenger. Hydrogen improves hydration and energy levels. It reduces oxidative stress and inflammation. It supports brain health and cognitive function. It enhances athletic recovery and endurance, and it can help with gut health and overall well-being. Hydrogen, being the strongest antioxidant, promotes anti-aging and is a huge anti-inflammatory.
And so how do we test something that's a liquid of whether or not it has an antioxidant or not? And that's where we're going to use something called an ORP meter. So an ORP meter stands for oxidation reduction potential. Anything that is a positive on this screen is aging us, inflaming us, and oxidizing our cells at the cellular level. Anything that's a negative charge is an antioxidant. This is anti-inflammatory, anti-aging, and antioxidizing. So nutrition is so important, yet what about the liquids that we're putting in our body every single day? So let's first go ahead and test this. So as you can see here on my meter, we're going to start with Sprite, and it's going to come out to about a positive, almost 400 ORP. Inflammation, aging, and oxidizing. We've got Gatorade, and this is the same as like Propel, Powerade, any kind of sports drinks, positive 400. Carbonated beverages, positive 400. Perrier, Pellegrino. Then we have Dasani. Again, positive 300. We have Smart Water. We have a positive 380. And then we have Essentia. Now it's going down a little bit, which may seem good. However, it's still going to stay a positive. And I want you guys to be aware of the marketing. So you can see right on their bottles, a positive sign. Could it be a coincidence? Just make sure you're aware of what's going on out in the world. And then with the last one, we have our living water, which is a negative 540, negative 600. So as soon as you pour this water from the machine to your bottle, the best thing you can do is absorb it and drink it right away, because the longer it sits, the more it's going to oxidize, just like you would if you cut an apple open, cut an avocado open, and it starts turning brown. It's a process we can't stop. The best thing is what we can do is reduce it. And that reduction with antioxidants through living water is one of our best ways to do so.
There is a major difference within chemically changed alkaline water and electrically changed alkaline water. One is made with additives and the other is made with voltage. So we want the voltage like the earth, that electrical charge.
And there's a lot of confusion that alkalinity, alkaline water is the best for us. Well, we're going to talk about here in a minute why that's not necessarily true and also how it's different. First, though, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little test. We're going to test out what really are in these different waters, because you have something that's either going to be an acid or an alkaline, and then right in the middle is neutral. Now, the human body, science has shown, our body finds balance at about a 7.35 pH, so slightly to the alkaline state. Now, when we're putting things in our system that are acidic, whether they're chemical foods, their pollution, their toxins, even stress, negative thinking, meat, dairy, eggs, sugars, acids, things that may not be good for us over time. And we start looking at more of the fruits, the vegetables, the breath work, the grounding, the holistic practices that we can incorporate. We can now start to get more balance in our system. So the best way we can identify this is putting these pH drops that we have right here. And this is actually going to test the pH, was the potential of hydrogen. And another way to look at it as well is something that is alkaline will most likely have a negative charge. Anything with a positive charge is most likely going to come out acidic. So if we're using these pH drops, let's go ahead and start with Sprite. And as you can see on the scale, very acidic, very acidic. We have acidic. So we have carbonated drinks, sports drinks, and soft drinks. And now we have Dasani, very acidic, Smart Water. Very acidic, slightly neutral, slightly neutral. Now, this is where it can get confusing because, well, look, it's alkaline water. It's alkaline water. Yet if I were to read you the ingredients on the back of this label, it is purified water via reverse osmosis, and the first ingredient is sodium bicarbonate. And for some of you that aren't aware of what that means, it's baking soda. They're putting baking soda in our water, and we're consuming it day in and day out. So what's the difference? What about this royal purple? So now, as we see, let's say, for example, you start to drink living water. What's going to happen to your body? Perhaps the body will finally start getting more into balance. Now, check this out. Make sure you don't blink. It tries to change and it can't. One more time. It tries to change, and there's no luck. Now, if you think about carbonated drinks, God designed us to exhale. And what are we exhaling? CO2. So why exactly are we putting back in our body what we're designed to get rid of? Makes you think. Now, if we go to Gatorade, sports drinks, Sprite, it won't even budge. So it would literally take me a couple gallons to neutralize one of these beverages, let alone a glass. It'll take me about 30 cups of medical grade living ionized water with all those antioxidants just to neutralize the acidity. Now, take a look at this. What happens if you were to have one drink, or if you were to just go out for fun for one night, or have that soda, or even bottled water, Gatorade, coconut water? And what's going to happen is your body, because these beverages are so acidic on the pH scale, all of a sudden, we're back to where we started. So what you drink matters. What you drink is so important. What you eat is important. And it's also, when you zoom out, make sure you're aware that you're looking past what marketing is telling us every single day.
If you care about the planet as much as we do, let me give you a perspective on the water bottle industry and plastic. One household contributes to 3,042 pieces of plastic a year. If you haven't heard of the Pacific Garbage Patch, it's this massive patch of plastic in the middle of the ocean. Now, another statistic is 199 million tons of plastic is currently in the ocean. 33 billion pounds of plastic is entering the marine environment every single year. How much does the water bottle industry contribute to plastic? 25 million tons of plastic waste is the water bottle industry. So why are you renting your water? Look at that investment for yourself, because when you put it into a perspective, you start to see the shift. And when you can start to see the shift, it's like having a miracle water system in your home, a blue zone in your home.
The other amazing factor with this device is that it can make multiple types of water by changing the pH, by changing the voltage. And one of the amazing features is, by a simple button on the screen that you press, you can actually make water, 6.0 pH water, that is called beauty water. Now, why is this so important? Is because, again, in the world that we live in, there's a lot of products out there for men and women, for hair, for skin, for anti-aging, creams, wrinkles, scarring, beauty products, toners, hair, makeup remover. And these things are full of chemicals, parabens, phthalates, things that we may not know how to pronounce or spell, yet we're putting it on our system. And think about it. If my skin is the biggest organ of my body, and everything that comes in contact with my skin within seconds is getting absorbed into my bloodstream, which is now filling the rest of my body with whatever I'm putting on, wouldn't it make sense to get away from the chemicals? Wouldn't it make sense to get away from those ingredients? We have no clue of what they mean, how to spell them, or what they're doing to us, and just get back to water. Get back to simplicity, get back to what our body's used to doing. So by hitting a button on the screen, you can actually make 6.0 beauty water. You can use it as a toner. You can use it for your skin. You can use it for a makeup setter. It helps with anti-aging for the skin, wrinkles, and so many more other benefits simply by changing the pH. And you have as much as you want for as long as you want for the rest of your life. Save your money instead of going and buying these products on the market that are full of contaminants, and get back to origin, get back to nature, and find water as a source for your skin and overall health. So another amazing benefit of this machine is its ability to make cleaning water, sterilizing water, water that can replace your hand sanitizer. And why is this important? Because things like Purell, things that are on the market right now that are full of contaminants, is getting absorbed just like our skin products are, right into our bloodstream. And so think about it, mouthwash, hand sanitizer, things for your eyes, things that disinfect and sanitize your kitchens and your bathrooms. And a lot of these things are a problem, is because parents have this fear if their kids are getting into it, or if they spill it, or they got to call poison control. And really what it comes down to is, how can we find an effective, creative, and simple solution to being able to clean our environment, cleaning our house, cleaning our bodies, without having to add chemicals to the equation. So by hitting a button 2.5, it actually makes hypochlorous acid. And why is that so good? Is because now when you're at the gym, when you're at home, when you're traveling, when you're on the go, and you don't want to have to rely on chemicals to do the cleaning, again, get back to water, totally safe, totally harmless. Okay, use it for pink eye, you can use it for mouthwash, getting back to basics, getting back to origin, and letting water do the work for you. 2.5 water.
We've been talking so much about blue zones, and these water systems actually originate in a blue zone. Okinawa, Japan is this tiny little island off the coast of the mainland. And on this island, a lot of the elders live to about 100 and over 100 years old. Like I mentioned, the longest living people in the world. And what they found is that this island soil is rich in minerals. The island's coral reefs around the island are actually protecting it and keeping the plants and the ecosystems and the water cycles alive. So we find a lot of similarities within this water and the culture, and recognizing that these places in the world still exist. This water still exists today. It's just so many of us don't have access to it anymore. So now we have it right in our kitchen.
So the last water we're going to talk about is the 11.5 water. Many of us eat fruits and vegetables, for example. And in the past, me personally, and perhaps you watching this, you may have gone ahead and taken your produce and just rinsed it under the tap water. And so here we have tap water from our basic sink. And here we have 11.5 alkalized water. Now this water is ability to break down oil. So what do I mean by that? If I were to put some sesame oil into 2 cups, some dark sesame oil that allows us to see, a lot of us know that water and oil, what? They don't mix. However, if you're mixing the wrong kind of water, that may be the case. Another thing that we're going to test here, these are some just simple tomatoes that you can get at the grocery store. And like I mentioned, a lot of us have gone ahead and we've cleaned our produce simply by using tap water. So I'm going to pour a conventional tap water. And if you guys did not know, a majority of pesticides out in the world are actually oil-based. And the reason that is because when they spray their pesticides, insecticides, and herbicides, what happens is they want to make sure that the pesticides don't come off when it rains. So as you guys know, water and oil doesn't mix. So it makes sense for these farmers to do that. Doesn't make sense for the consumer to ingest that. So here's 11.5 that I'm going to be using from the machine. We're going to let those sit. And now water and oil, and you can use the water for a degreaser, a stain remover. Remember, this machine makes 7 types of waters and it has over 50 different uses. What happens when water and oil mixes? They don't connect, right? Separate. Makes sense, right? What if, this is where a lot of people have to do a double take. What if they are now putting in their system and cleaning their produce with water that actually breaks down oil? Think about that. It makes sense that if I want to clean my produce, why am I using tap water full of contaminants, putting it on top of tomatoes that I'm looking to clean to get off these pesticides? But you tell me, what is really coming off? Looks pretty clear. Now, instead, if we were to switch it to strong alkalized water that has the ability to break down oil-based, whether it's pesticides, insecticides, whatever it is, let's see what comes off. I'll let you guys tell me what that is. It's not green tea. I don't know what it is. I just know that I don't want this going in my body, in your body, in your family's body for many, many years to come, because pesticides are causing a lot of issues with reproductive system, infertility, hormonal problems in men and women. And it's important that although we can't control what's being sprayed on our produce, we can control what comes off it, where we shop from, and where our energy goes to give our best overall perspective on health and wellness.
As you can see, this water helps with so many different things, all the way to a lifestyle, to replacing your beauty products, cleaning products. You're starting to see what we mean by when you actually get one of these water systems in your home. Join thousands of families that have added this as an asset to their family, and also that have seen the changes. Get back to the person who invited you here. We care about you. They care about you. Join us in our worldwide wake.
We get back to what matters most, which is our health. And we've been able to help tens of thousands of people all over this world in over 20 different countries wake up to the power of water.